That scared me so bad.
Hello.
I was not expecting that.
Right?
My
Hello.
ears hurt.
You're fine.
Sorry, listeners.
You're fine.
That was loud.
I thought you were sneezing.
No.
I thought so too.
It did clip a little bit, but that's all right. Hello and welcome, folks, to a very special episode of We Watch Movies and Then Talk About Them, the only podcast on the internet where we watch several movies and then watch people get awarded for said movies and then talk about the awards and the people that got them. There
That's a
may
long
be
sentence.
others where other people watch a lot of movies and then watch some awards and then talk about the people getting those awards and the films that got them. But this is the only one where we do it.
That got real confusing in the middle there.
Yep. My name is Andrew Westonsko. I am the host of this here podcast, joined at my right hand in life and in all things by Becca.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
To my left and to Becca's right, due to the circular nature of our table, is Sid.
Hello.
It's a bit of a stretch to say that she's to your left.
It's a stretched circle.
It's like probably 6 feet. All the way around.
Whatever. The listeners don't know that. It's a perfectly circular table. And we're all huddled around it. It's tiny.
We're all very close to each other.
Very close.
Shoulders
We're
touching.
all talking into the same microphone.
We are indeed. Get out of my way, Becca.
No.
Fine. All right, folks. This is the news here. The news is here. We're excited. It's a good day.
We're probably just going to be screaming throughout this entire episode.
No, I think I got my screams out.
Did you?
I did. I did my one scream and I called it good.
I'm probably going to save mine for later.
Okay, that works. So today we are, award season is over. It's officially over. We're talking about awards season for 2019 films. And the reason I say awards season and not just Oscars is because I do very quickly want to touch on the Spirit Awards because they were very good. The awards they gave were very good. I didn't watch the ceremony because there is only so many hours in the day. But basically, the Spirit Awards are, for those of you who are unfamiliar, are the premier, independent film awards show. So I don't remember what the criteria is. I think it's like if your budget is under 20 million, you're considered independent, or it might be Studio Association. I don't know. In any case, very quickly, the Independent Film Awards praised some of the overlooked gems.
The uncut?
The uncut type. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure we're clear here.
Yeah, so just very, very quickly, apart from the Oscars, Adam Sandler has been getting his due. He's won a handful of awards, most notably Best Actor at the Spirit Awards, which is great.
Good for him.
Additionally, Josh and Benny Safdie got Best Director, which is fantastic. A couple of boring picks. Renee Zellweger took Best Actress. Blah. I don't know how to say her name. Zhao Shuzhen from The Farewell. She took Supporting Female Actress, which is great. Marriage Story didn't qualify for this, though, in all fairness. So there you go. And Supporting Actor, Willem Dafoe took it for The Lighthouse, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah, fantastic. And
Of those nominees, though, that seems like fitting.
yeah,
good.
Willem Dafoe, Noah Jupe from Honey Boy, Shia LaBeouf from Honey Boy, Jonathan Majors from The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and Wendell Pierce from Burning Cane were the nominees. Willem Dafoe took it for Supporting Actor. Noah Baumbach. Oh, I guess Marriage Story did qualify because he won for Screenplay. That's weird.
That is weird.
Laura Dern wasn't even nominated here. Wacky. Jaron Blackshear got cinematography for The Lighthouse over Hustlers, Honey Boy, The Third Wife, and Midsommar. Fantastic. Uncut Gems took Best Editing, which it definitely deserved. Parasite took Best International Film, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. And then Best Picture.
I care about Parasite.
Well, nobody cares.
Everything
Nobody cares that it
Parasite.
took Best International Film.
That's fair.
That's the only.
Of course.
Yeah, the only other
Yeah.
year where that's been such a foregone conclusion was last year with Roma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Best Feature. These were the nominees for Best Feature at the Spirit Awards. A Hidden Life, Clemency, which I've never heard of.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Do you know what it's about?
It's kind of about if it's the movie I'm thinking of, it's kind of a battle between like a prison warden and this guy who's up for being put to death. I think that's it.
Wow.
I saw a few trailers for it.
Sounds interesting.
That sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen a trailer for that, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay, so it's about she's a prison warden and she prepares to execute another inmate. She must confront her psychological and emotional demons. Her job creates ultimately connecting her to the man she is sanctioned to kill.
Interessante.
So yeah.
Weird. Okay, cool. The Farewell, Marriage Story, and Uncut Gems were your other nominees. And didn't expect this. The Farewell took it
Wow.
for Best Feature at the Spirit Awards.
I mean, it's very good.
I would have given it to Uncut Gems, very closely followed by Hidden Life, but that's just because that's my 3 and 4 films of last year. So, if you want to hear our thoughts on awards season aside, what we consider to be the best films of 2019, we did an episode on just that. Wherever you're listening to this, you can find that, and it's probably right below this one.
Mm-hmm.
Have we done anything since then?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. So, right below this one, you can find our summation of last year. So yeah, just wanted to quickly mention the Spirit Awards, mostly because they recognized Uncut Gems. Because for some reason, the Academy didn't like A24 this year.
They hardly ever like A24. They like gave it to Moonlight, and ever since then, there's like, nah.
I guess so. I don't know. I read a Reddit thread, so as much clout as you want to give that said that the Academy for some reason doesn't like the Safdie brothers.
But they've only had like 2 movies.
Who knows? Point being, A24's big push this year was behind Uncut Gems. Mm-hmm. They promoted it for the Oscars much heavier than they did anything else.
Yeah.
And it got totally snubbed.
Yeah.
Which is stupid because it absolutely deserved, Adam Sandler should have been in over Jonathan Pryce. I watched The Two Popes, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But Adam Sandler should have been in over Jonathan Pryce.
Yeah.
I agree that it should have been nominated. I don't know that it could have won any of the categories in the Oscars, but
I would have picked it for editing, absolutely,
it's fair.
and sound mixing at the very least, if not editing as well.
Yeah.
Just the way that
those would be the only 2 awards I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, the way that
the rest.
dialogue is handled in that movie is just pure ecstasy. It's incredible what they were able to do. But yeah. So that's the Spirit Awards. So let's jump in to the Oscars then.
Yay.
I have a few questions for you guys. And these are fun little questions, okay? First of all, and this doesn't have to be a single answer, but I am asking you on the spot so that you must think fast. Best dressed. What do we think? I think there's a few clear-cut answers, but
Why can't I remember anyone?
They didn't show her very often, but I thought Saoirse Ronan's dress was
she's
awesome.
She's my top. I think she looked incredible.
Yeah.
Her dress was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even I didn't watch like the red carpet, which I usually do before, and oh my gosh.
We definitely did, and I thought it was worth it. I thought it was fun.
All right, let me look up
Brad
a few.
Pitt looked like a snack,
Of course.
Yeah.
and I'm surprised that I have to beat you to this, Sid.
Oh no. No. Don't you even think for a second that I will not hype up my beautiful boy Timothy Chalamet.
Dude, Timmy looked good last
course,
night.
of course, I like. There's all these jokes that he looks like a mechanic. And I'm like,
Wearing,
He looked
rocking the
great.
tracksuit with the
amazing.
slicked
his
hair.
jawline was on point.
and his brooch. Can you believe it?
Supposedly, I don't know I read somewhere that's from Dune.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So good on him. He looked amazing. I thought Saoirse Ronan's dress was incredible.
Yeah, hers was my favorite. For sure.
It was just a very good dress. Florence Pugh,
Oh yeah.
rocking the joint.
Oh my gosh.
She looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love her so much.
Yeah. I am so excited to see what she does.
I really like Brie Larson's.
Oh yeah, her dress
like-
was
She
really
did. She
pretty.
looked really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think the last one off the top of my head is Janelle Monáe.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
every time they showed
Still
her
in the
audience.
game.
Yes.
I know that Natalie Portman, she like wore a cape.
Oh, and
And-
it was like embroidered. Yeah.
embroidered with the women who were snubbed for Best Director.
Yeah. Was it just Greta Gerwig all over like a million
Probably.
times? Because here's the thing. This is where I'm going to get myself into trouble. I thought that for the most part, the crop of best directors for this year was very acceptable. I didn't have a problem with a single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that Greta Gerwig deserved
Oh,
an
absolutely.
nomination.
If you're going to push somebody out, probably Todd Phillips
That's exactly what I was thinking.
to put in Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't be mad this year,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think-
Like, I do not believe that the best director nominations were motivated by sexism this year. It
Yeah.
was just that good of a year for movies.
It was like a pretty good year. I think probably, I mean, without diving too much into it, I think more the problem is just not enough opportunities for women to
Sure.
to direct. But I think like this year, like I wasn't like mad about anything. Like I would say that yeah, it would probably be better to put Greta in there instead of Todd Phillips. But yeah, like it's not really something that I like. It didn't feel undeserving.
Sure. And I mean, like, I think all of us ranked Little Women above Joker for the end of the year, right? Like, I think it is a better film.
Yeah.
But we rewatched Joker last night after the ceremony.
It was really
It's
good.
very good. It's very good. It's well directed. It's well put together. The pacing in that movie is incredible. The momentum. I didn't realize how quickly that movie moves. There's a lot happening and not a lot of time.
Well, and I think it absolutely needs and deserves a second viewing for anybody who watches it because it's so heavy.
Sure.
So like the first time we watched it, you just are left with that really heavy, depressing feeling.
Well, sure. And I didn't realize, I mean, I guess spoilers for Joker, I didn't realize just how early on in the film the subway murders happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's very early on.
Well, and we were talking throughout the movie, and we picked up on a lot more symbolism throughout the movie the second time around as well.
Yeah, for sure. So, there's definitely a lot going on. And, I kind of scoffed at the screenplay being nominated. I still obviously think that Uncut Gems should have been nominated above it. Like, if I was going to kick something out of original screenplay, you got Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Oh, it wasn't nominated. Joker was adapted. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it was adapted.
Which is loose, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a weird choice.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
Well, didn't Jojo Rabbit win?
Yeah,
Adapted?
it did.
Yeah.
That was
Which is
well
great.
deserving.
I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. But yeah. So I don't know. Like, I've been talking to Becca about this. I've become so burnt out on these, like, every single news outlet putting out 50 articles about what the Oscars should and shouldn't be and what they should and shouldn't do, and we need representation here and here and there and there. And like, what it really boils down to is like, it seems like a lot of these news outlets just want women and people of color for director and main acting nominations, which is great. I'm not against that at all, but I was very impressed with the amount of diversity with the people who won.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought it was great, honestly. There was just a very diverse cast of people going up on that stage last night, I thought.
Yeah, and like it very much felt overwhelmingly a lot of women were getting awards, which felt really good.
Yeah,
And
I thought it was
exciting
great.
to see. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, if you don't get nominated for director, then it's sexism.
Yeah.
I
But
don't-
yeah,
I
like
just, I don't know
every
that I
other
agree with that.
award.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me, like, all of these news outlets, because they all have their very specific opinions of what the Oscars should do, and none of them agree with each other. So it's like nobody is ever going to be happy. So what do you expect the Academy to do? Like, they're just going to do what they want because they know that no matter what they do, they're not going to make anybody happy. Except for this year, they made me happy.
Yes, they did.
I thought they made some great choices. So, Best Dressed goes to Saoirse.
Ronan.
Everybody from Little Women, really.
Yeah. They all looked great.
I mean, they're all just beautiful.
They really
Beautiful
are.
people.
Was Emma Watson even there?
I don't think so. I mean, I didn't see.
No reason.
her.
I guess to that point, Greta Gerwig looked great too.
Oh yeah,
She had a
Oh,
good dress.
yeah.
I like cried every time that they showed her.
Yeah.
They showed her a lot.
Yeah.
They did. They really
There was
did.
like, after they won for best costume, they like showed her and she's crying, and then she's like,
Yeah.
she like says, "I'm so happy," and I started crying. I was like, "You deserve everything, Greta."
She'll keep going though.
Oh,
Yeah, I was mad that Saoirse Ronan didn't get more screen time.
Yeah, I honestly feel like there weren't like that many big names at the actual ceremony.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like didn't feel like, like they'd like show the audience and I'd be like, oh, that's that person, But it was like,
Bradley Cooper somehow got the best seat in the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
What is he doing
I
that
don't
he
know.
gets that seat?
and Tony Hawk was there, and
Right? And Jeff Bezos.
who knows? I
Yeah.
don't know.
What are your guys' thoughts on like the format this year?
I thought it was good. Like I didn't really feel like they wasted a lot of time. And I think, I mean, if I remember right, they did all the songs nominated for best song.
The Eminem performance was
Very
baffling.
confused
Yeah,
by
that was
Baffling.
random.
Makes no
I-
sense.
I don't think anyone understood it. That was weird. I would definitely take that out. But I feel like the flow was
Yeah.
pretty good. There were like a few monologues that went a little long,
Yeah.
but
My favorite thing, the freaking, what were their names? The two ladies who were like, we can act.
Kristen Wiig and
Oh, they were
Maya
so
Rudolph.
great.
Really? I thought that
I loved it.
that bit got a little bit tired.
It got a little bit long. It was good at the beginning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
It was
When
kind
they
of like
started
the
singing.
Yeah.
yeah.
that
What was
was too
who was
much.
with her? Tiffany Haddish and last year that they did basically the exact same bit.
Oh. Who was it?
Who was with her? I don't remember. But you know the one that I'm talking about from last year?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That one was better.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah, the Eminem performance was baffling. My favorite is all the people going after him on Twitter and being like, "Why did you perform? Like, what's wrong with you? Nobody cares. You're not. The song's not relevant. Like, you just made the telecast too long." And it's like, money.
Yeah.
They said we will pay you money
Yeah.
to come play this song, and he said, "One song, done."
Yeah. It was so weird because, like, I understand, like, what they were going for. Like, they
Yeah.
were going for, like, how music can impact the movie. But I feel like that's one of, like, it's not a very impactful movie.
Well, right? Like, who's talking about 8 Mile 20
No.
years later?
We're
Yeah.
only talking about the song just because people remember it.
Well, right, because "Lose Yourself" was one of the highest charting songs of the decade.
Yeah. No one remembers how that song changed.
And you
the
know what?
movie.
Real talk. I think it was last year at some point. I rewatched 8 Mile. It's not that good.
I've never even seen it.
It's
haven't seen it
not that
either.
good.
I've never had a desire to see it.
It's like a very, very mediocre movie. Eminem is not a good actor.
They should have just had Billie Eilish perform one of her songs instead of
That was the other thing is they bring Billie Eilish out to sing freaking was it Imagine?
Yesterday.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I
Which
was
she
I was
great.
telling Becca though when she came out and they said that she was doing the In Memoriam, I had a bit of a heart drop moment and I was like, are they gonna have her sing Bury a Friend? Just like the ultimate bad taste. Like she did great though. She
yeah.
sounded
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I like Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about performances, the best was the opening number.
Yeah, that
By
Janelle Monáe
far.
number was awesome, but
Yeah.
very confusing as well.
Mhm.
Like, let's highlight all of these films that we didn't nominate.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
very
Super
prominently featuring Midsummer.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
she
Us,
came out. Yeah, Midsummer and Us specifically. I mean, she came out in the May Queen flower dress.
which was great.
Yeah.
I loved
Thought
that.
it was great.
Yeah, I loved it, but I was like, so you are like acknowledging that they exist and,
And
it's
that
not
they're
like
fantastic.
You forgot that these movies existed. You just blatantly ignored them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
and
weird.
like, you're like, here's the thing. I mean, I have an unpopular opinion. I don't really love the period costume design thing. I don't like giving awards to it because,
Yeah.
like, one Little Women won, and
I'm okay with that, honestly. I thought the costumes were amazing.
sure they are, but like, you know that every Hollywood studio just has a shipping container full of 19th century dresses.
I think there's a lot more that goes into it than that.
I mean, I'm sure, but like,
I mean, I get what you're
but
trying to say.
you're telling me
but
that
I
Little
don't-
Women deserved it more than even Joker or Jojo Rabbit, right? Other films nominated. Or you're telling me
I'm
that
okay with it because I want Little Women to win.
sure,
awards.
and I think
Like,
that that's why it won. Honestly, I think that they knew they
Yeah.
weren't going to give it to anything else. That they weren't going to give it anything else, which is a bummer, for sure. I would have. I don't know. Screenplay is debatable. I might have given it to Little Women over Jojo Rabbit,
Yeah, that's what I put.
but I mean that was my pick was Little Women.
Uh-huh.
But in any case, like even like throw Midsummer a costume nomination. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like there's go listen to the A24 podcast with Ari Aster and Robert Eggers, and Ari Aster goes into what went into making those costumes and like the production designers and costume designers. That runic alphabet they use is invented for the film, and
Oh.
they all mean something, and they all tie into how the costumes are put together, and they tie into the different attributes that the characters have and the things that they're experiencing at that point in time. Like lots of like really minute details going into how those costumes were handled. So sure, there is more than just pulling 19th century dresses out of a shipping container. That's obviously me.
I would love to hear Florence Pugh's opinion on the matter. Midsummer versus Little Women.
I would
for
just
costumes.
love to hear Florence Pugh talk about
Yeah, say anything.
Oh
Just
yeah,
talk
for
to
real,
us.
absolutely.
I've watched her multiple times just make ice cream. I watched.
I need to follow
like,
her on Instagram.
15-minute long mukbang of her eating British foods.
Jeez, is she British?
Yeah.
No.
Huh?
Good heavens,
Huh?
she can do an accent.
Yeah.
She's like Margot Robbie, dude.
Yeah, she's great.
Like she's that believable.
Oh yeah.
Margot Robbie. We watched Wolf of Wall Street a week or so ago.
Mhm.
Margot Robbie's accent is
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
She's great.
I don't know how she pulls that off. So best musical number. I was surprised with the Harriet one. I
Yeah,
thought it was
thought-
very good.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the better ones.
I was hoping that would win.
I honestly couldn't hear like any of the other songs. I don't know if it was just like RTV or if the broadcast was weird. Like I just couldn't really understand anything.
The Frozen one was very cringy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like
that
that
one
at
was
all.
weird.
And
And
a
the
lot
Toy
of
Story one.
a
was
lot of them didn't
boring.
sound good.
Yeah.
I fell asleep during the Toy Story one. That was terrible. It was really bad. I'm sorry, Randy Newman. You're a legend, but holy crap, was that a boring song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say the Harriet one was the best. And she's a great singer.
Do you know what really gets me though? They decided that they had time to randomly bring out Eminem to perform Lose Yourself 20 years late, right? But last year, or no, the year before, they couldn't even bother to let Sufjan get through his song. He
Yeah.
performed half
Yeah.
of the song. But they decide, nope, Eminem's got time on top of all of these other stupid songs.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years ago, that's when they like went and crashed a theater.
Yeah, they went
and,
and threw
like,
hot dogs at people.
I
It's so
forgot
stupid.
about
Much more
that.
important.
That was so bad. They went to what was it? A Wrinkle in
Wrinkle
Time?
in Time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
What a
We don't
terrible
need
bit.
that.
It's literally rich people throwing food at poor people
Yeah.
in a theater for a bad movie.
Just give us more Sufjan all the time over that.
Man, good freaking heavens. Yeah, I don't know. I was disappointed the Harriet one didn't win. I mean, obviously you're gonna give it to Elton John. I don't even think that was a question.
Yeah.
Like whatever, who cares? But I thought it was very good. And usually I don't like those performances of original songs. But I don't know. It made me kind of want to see Harriet.
Yeah.
I just
I
don't
really like everything that I've seen. Is it Cynthia Erivo?
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've seen her in, she's really good.
Apparently, I found this out last night. If she had won the Oscar, she would be the youngest person ever to have an EGOT.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and
Oh.
she would have gotten them in the last 4 years. So in the last 4 years, she's gotten a Grammy, an Emmy, and a Tony.
Oh my gosh.
And she's up for 2 Oscars this year and didn't win either of them.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah, she's really good. I like her and
Yeah,
everything.
and she seemed cool. She was talking to Ryan Seacrest in the red carpet, and she seemed like a cool person. I don't know, whatever. Not as classy as Brad Pitt. He was. Can you imagine being Brad Pitt? Like, it just like you've got to have so few F's left to give. Like, he's just like he's talking to Ryan Seacrest, and he turns around, and Quentin Tarantino's walking by, and he's like, "Oh, there's the man!" And he and Quentin Tarantino are like shooting finger guns at each other. Like, that was something else.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more thing before we get into the winners. Which speeches did you guys like the best? Because I don't know how much we'll talk about these when we talk. I mean, I guess we could talk about them with the winners, but
I have to say my very favorite speech was Renee Zellweger.
good heavens,
That was just absolutely
how long was that speech?
I honestly, I thought you guys were serious. I was like, I didn't listen at all.
No, that speech
that was just like
I think she was just like reading the entirety of Moby Dick up there.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
very
also
long.
just like saying the names of everybody she saw in the audience.
She what was the one that she literally
She's like Martin Scorsese and Harriet Tubman.
yeah, she thanked Harriet Tubman and Martin Scorsese in the same sentence.
in the same breath.
Yeah.
Gosh.
No, that was a train wreck. But I mean,
because she came on right after.
she came on.
Walking
Yeah, she
Phoenix,
came on
which
right
is the
after
real
Walking
speech
Phoenix,
we
which
have
was a
to talk
great
about.
speech.
It was
I thought it was
very-
fantastic. I mean, a little bit rambly,
Yeah.
Well,
but that's how he is.
Yeah.
and actually, after when he gave his speech, I was like, well, this seems like getting farther away from the point of his Oscar. But after watching Joker again last night, it felt more connected to Joker than I originally thought it
Yeah.
was.
Except for the milk.
Yeah.
A lot of milk memes coming out of last
I
night.
missed
Yeah.
that part.
Oh, really?
I came back and my family was just like, why is he talking about milk? I'm like, he's very vegan, so that's probably it.
I mean, it's an important sentiment that I agree with, that I am glad he used his position
Yeah.
to talk
Yeah.
about.
Well, because have you watched it after?
No.
So
I
the-
watched most of it.
Okay,
but-
the point that he was making for anybody who missed it is that we artificially inseminate cows to force them to breed, essentially, and then take the baby away and steal her milk, which is like biologically intended for her calf, but we steal it. And he's like, just to put it on our coffee and our cereal, and like I don't know that like
I remember my sister walking in and she was like, I feel bad for eating this bowl of cereal now, and I was really confused. I was like, what? And then now it makes
But he gave a
sense.
great speech. He was definitely more composed than he was at the Golden Globes.
Yeah. I would say one of my favorite speeches was any time that Bong Joon-ho said, I will be drinking tonight.
Dude was
Yes.
such dude. His speeches were that was my other one, was all of his,
All of his.
including his Best Picture speech, which was nothing.
Yeah.
He just let everybody else
or,
talk.
Or the one where he's just in the background just gazing at his Oscar.
Yeah,
That's a great one.
it's amazing.
Amazing.
Did you see? I know you posted the picture of him making the two
Yeah.
Oscars kiss.
I love him so much. He's so weird.
He is so weird.
So great.
But no, I think even better than Joaquin Phoenix's. I think my speech of the night does go to him for his Best Director speech.
Yeah, that was good. Well, because he just talked about like how important it was that that he got that Oscar.
Well, but not even
and
that.
what
he
it means
he
for
was
the world.
yeah, and like thanking other directors for their support of his cinema along the way. Like Martin Scorsese got a standing ovation during Bong Joon-ho's Best Director
Yeah.
speech. Like,
Which I
that's-
was kind of like,
that's
this is not his moment. But like, I get
well,
it.
but at the same time, like I think it shows how humble and like down to earth Bong Joon-ho
Oh, yeah.
is, right? And honestly, like to his credit, how big of an impact Scorsese has had on the film industry, apart from just directing
Oh,
films, he's been an enormous champion of international cinema for a long time, and like specifically Korean cinema. And so, like, you really got that sentiment from Bong Joon-ho sitting up there being like, you know, Scorsese is the reason that I make films, and now I'm nominated next to him, and to win this is like the biggest honor that I could possibly receive. And like, you believe him.
Yeah, because
Right?
it wasn't just like, oh, I'm so honored to be with these guys, like how some
Right.
people will, but like he like dived into like why he loves them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just seems very authentic.
Yeah, for sure. His crazy hair.
When I don't think it was his director's speech, but one of the other ones that he brought up the film community in South Korea and the importance.
No, that
They
was the
had-
other guy
Oh, was
on
it?
screenplay.
Was
Yeah.
it okay?
He's like here you guys have Hollywood, and back in Korea we have, I forget what the word was, but some other thing that's like Korean Hollywood. And he's like, so this doesn't just go to us, this goes to all of the lovers of cinema and wherever that is. I don't remember what it's called.
Either way, I thought that was a good sentiment to bring when talking about Parasite and like helping us realize that it's not just about America
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Hollywood.
No, yeah. I mean, MVP of the night, Bong Joon-ho. Absolutely.
Yes.
Brad Pitt's speech was a little milquetoast. If
Yeah.
like it felt like he was like, I mean, it was the first award of the night,
Yeah,
and there was no suspense as to who was going to get it.
yeah,
And he gets up there and he's like, they told me I only have 45 seconds, which is 45 seconds longer than the Senate gave John Bolton, which is like, sure, worthy of being said, right? Good point. Like, agree.
Yeah.
But like,
It's kind of out of place.
that's what I'm saying. It's just kind of
Yeah.
milquetoast. And
Yeah.
like, he didn't seem, I don't know.
like as compared to his other speeches, which were hilarious and crazy. Like this one was kind of just like, oh,
Sure.
thanks. You know,
I don't
love
know.
my
Like
kids.
I said, I think he's just totally out of F's to give.
Oh,
Like
yeah, I'm sure.
he just didn't seem to care all that much that he got an Oscar
Yeah.
because it's his first acting one. Like
Yeah.
he got one for producing 12 Years a Slave, but never for acting. And so I don't know. This is kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I also love that they, just going back to Parasite, that they brought the lights back up
Oh,
after.
yeah.
Oh, that was
Best
awesome.
Picture.
Yeah, they tried to seriously, you let Renee Zellweger go on that freaking
Yeah,
tangent
exactly.
and then you turn the lights down on
This whole
this
entire
whole group of
team.
people.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And I loved Tom Hanks in the front row. Bring
Yeah.
him up, bring him up.
I know, like that was cool too to see like the support of
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
there saying, "No, we want to hear from
Yeah.
them."
It's not like this is history in the making.
Well, right. And like, how often is it? I mean, I guess like Green Book might be, especially after this year, it seems like Green Book might be the exception of the last few years, right? Because the last few years, they really have picked, if not the most, one of the most deserving films for Best Picture, right? You had Shape of Water, which is an incredible pick, right? It wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but it was Becca's.
yeah.
And I think it's an incredible pick for Best Picture. You have Moonlight, you have Spotlight. I think these are all films that definitely deserve to be highlighted in that
yeah.
in that echelon of film, and so maybe hopefully it will turn out that Green Book was the exception rather than the rule.
Yeah.
And really all of last year. Last year was a weird year,
It was weird.
It was.
but I don't know. It's good to see, like, I don't know. It's nice to see the Academy celebrating what is, I think, pretty unequivocally the best film of the year.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think there's a couple that give it a run for its money, but I'd put Lighthouse and Uncut Gems very close to it. But I don't know. After watching it again, I'm just it's hard to beat.
I feel like it would have been so easy for the Academy to be like, "Well, we gave it Best International Film.
Yeah.
Like we
Sure.
don't need to give it." Best
Honestly,
Picture."
I was, when it came up and it won Best International, I was like, I counted that as a point against it because I
Yeah.
thought that if they were planning on giving it Best Picture, that they would give international film to something else.
Yeah. I was scared it was going to be like last year where Roma got pretty much like same thing, like same Best Director, Best International.
And cinematography is
and
what it got.
cinematography, yeah. And, you know, I was like, oh, they could totally get Best Picture. So I was scared it was going to be this time around.
Yeah, it was such a weird feeling because last year, kind of the same thing happened that, you know, we get up there and Roma wins and Roma wins and Roma wins. And we get to Best Picture and we're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Is it finally going to do it? And then Green Book.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know. I'm like, it gets
I was
screenplay,
expecting 1917.
right? It gets
to get Best
screenplay,
Picture.
it gets international, it gets director. And I'm like, oh, it's 1917. It
Yeah.
totally is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: maybe not that resigned, because when he won Best Director, I really thought that's when I really started believing, is when he took Best Director,
Well, and that was
because that's
Best
it.
Director was a bigger deal
That's
to
a
me
hu-
than
I
Best
thought
Picture.
they would split it. I thought Sam Mendes was going to win
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So when they gave him Best Director, I was like, I think we did it.
Yeah.
Like I think that's it. Because
Yeah.
Best Director, I thought, was a way bigger hurdle to cross than Best Picture this year for Parasite.
Yeah.
I agree.
And also, like, with last year, it was kind of like, yeah, Alfonso Cuarón, like, he's been nominated a bunch of times in the past. This was the first time that Bong Joon-ho was ever nominated.
Yeah, never recognized.
Yeah.
First South Korean film at the Oscars.
Yeah, which is incredible. So yeah, I think it was really, like really an underdog kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just came
coming
out of
like
nowhere.
it rocketed out of Cannes or Cons or however you say it.
Yeah.
Do we have a definitive way on how you
I
say
think
that
it's
yet?
cons.
Is it Cons? Do you say
I
the
always
S?
thought it was can, no S.
Can.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
The French Film Festival. I mean, it came out of there with just so much momentum
Mm-hmm.
because so unexpected. Nobody expected that to win the top prize.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of has ridden on that, I think.
Yeah, I think that's given its momentum throughout the year because that made us really excited to go see it.
Yeah. There are rumors circulating, and they are nothing but rumors, so we'll see if anything happens. But there are rumors circulating that Criterion is going to do a Bong Joon-ho box set,
Oh, that would be amazing.
which would be awesome because they just barely struck new deals with both Neon and Netflix. Neon, their deal was spearheaded on Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which they're releasing this year. And Netflix obviously spearheaded with Roma and then The Irishman and Marriage Story and American Factory, right?
Okay. Oh, I would
So,
love that.
there was rumors before that they were going to be working on a Bong Joon-ho set, which I think would be great. There's a couple of his films that I still need to see. I need to see Mother
Yeah.
and Memories of a Murder.
Those are the two I want to see.
But everything else that I've seen from him is just fantastic. We did an episode on Snowpiercer.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously an episode on Parasite. So I'd love to see that happen. I think I'm very, very glad that we got our Parasite Blu-ray before the nominations even came out, because now we don't have to buy it all covered in garbage. I hate it when Blu-rays do that, when it's like nominated for 1 million awards and all the greatest things about it. I hate that. But I would love to see it even more get a Criterion treatment.
Yes.
So the evidence against that is that it just became a very, very, very profitable title for Neon, obviously. So the likelihood that they give up or even share distribution rights on it seems pretty unlikely. But you never know. Maybe they love art more than they love money. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool if somebody loved art more than they love money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Any other general thoughts before we kind of dive into some of the awards? All right, let's go. Let's see. Awards that nobody actually saw any of them. And there's nothing against this. Here's the thing. I think it was last year or the year before, I tried really hard to see all of the shorts, all of the documentaries. Mm-hmm. And these people really shoot themselves in the foot a lot of the times, it feels like. I don't know if this has been your experience, Sid, that like it's so hard to see some of these.
Yeah. Like every now and then, like you'll see like they'll have like a night where they show all of them. But if they do, like they hardly advertise it or it's super far away. Like you need to make it online.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like the very day that these nomination announcements come out, the distribution studios in charge of these films and short films instantly need to have it on iTunes.
Yeah.
The amount of money that they're just throwing away by not having it easily accessible on these online platforms is just ridiculous. Because I would pay to watch them. I'd buy each of them individually just to watch them because they were nominated.
And I'm sure there's tons of people out there who would do the same.
Yeah. To that point, apparently both Honeyland and Corpus Christi are just phenomenal.
Yeah, I hear those are incredible.
So I'd be very interested to see those. Mm-hmm. In any case, international feature went to Parasite over Corpus Christi, Les Miserables, which I need to correct myself. I assumed it was a remake of Les Miserables. Apparently it's about the French protests a couple years ago, the Yellow Jacket ones.
Okay.
So there you go. It's not just another Les Mis remake.
Easily mistakable.
Right. Honeyland, which is interesting, a documentary getting nominated for Best International Film.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And Pain and Glory, which I still need to see. Mm-hmm. Parasite took international film. Apparently the distinction between international and foreign language film is significant. I don't know that
this is kind of just how I feel about it, and like kind of through my film class I kind of realized the difference, where I don't know if this is really it, but it kind of feels exclusive to say foreign, to just be like, oh well, we're the top of movies, so because this isn't in English, it's foreign.
Well, but that's the weird thing, is that like they changed the name without changing the rules.
Yeah.
Because the rules are, I think it's either like 60 or 70% of your dialogue has to be not in English to qualify for that award. So like there's a bunch of like West African films that people were pissed didn't get any recognition because they didn't meet the requirements because they're in English, but like they're not American films.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Right? But then you run into the issue where like, oh crap, are we just going to nominate a bunch of British films? Like, are we going to make, because how it works is each country, and I don't know who chooses it. I don't think that like the president of Senegal is out there viewing all the films from his country. You know what I mean? But each country makes an official submission to the Oscars. Mm-hmm. And then from those submissions is what they pull for international film.
Yeah.
So like, are we going to get down to it? We're like, oh, Canada has to make an official submission. You know what I mean? It's so strange because like the UK doesn't have to make an official submission and Canada doesn't have to, but
yeah, that does make it messy.
Like Mexico does. It's just weird.
Yeah,
that is weird.
So I don't know. I think they need to clean up the rules on that a little bit for sure. And And also, you know what? Get some funding behind it. Make an Oscars for not American movies. Do to us what we do to you. You know what I mean? Say like, you know what? If your film was made in America, you're not in.
Yeah. Didn't Bong Joon-ho say something about like this local award show? I thought I heard.
I don't remember specifically.
I don't know if it was during the Oscars or for maybe like a press something, but I heard that he said that he called the Oscars a local award show, which
That's hilarious.
is amazing.
Live action short film went to The Neighbor's Window, which I am not familiar with. A synopsis on IMDb. It tells the story of a middle-aged woman with small children whose life is shaken up when two free-spirited 20-somethings move in across the street. Cool. All right.
I
That's
know
the
that
thing.
the National was promoting it, so
Oh, really?
I don't know if they posted something.
Did Bryce
on their-
Dessner or something do the music?
I have no idea. I know that they posted something on their Instagram, and that's all I know. And I know that I support them because of it.
Well, sure. Cast. Music. Oh, that's cast. I'm looking for music by James Baxter. Huh? No idea.
All right.
Maybe they just like it.
Maybe.
Over A Sister Brotherhood, Nefta Football Club, and Saria, which I have not heard of any of them. Best animated short film went to Hair Love. That is about a father tries to do his daughter's hair for the first time. That one, best animated short. The acceptance speech said that it is about normalizing black hair, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That went over Daughter, Kit Bull, Memorable, and Sister. Not familiar with any of them. Best animated feature film, Disney's money well spent, went to Toy Story 4. Which you liked quite a bit, Sid. It was on your top 10 list.
I did. It is great.
This beat out How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, and Missing Link.
I hear I Lost My Body's really good, but I would probably say like Klaus is a close second.
You've seen Klaus?
Yes, it's very good.
Really? That's what I've
Yes.
heard. The Netflix snubs were real, though, last night. Well, here's the thing. It's hard to call them snubs when the most deserving film won in most categories, I think.
Yeah.
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 Netflix just wasn't quite the best. But I do like them getting more representation. I think that the old school production studio model is outdated and stupid.
Yes.
Agreed.
Especially if you're gonna say that you can't have movies that premiered on Netflix and then just go and support Apple TV.
Right.
Steven Spielberg.
You know what Steven Spielberg supports? Money. Money.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Steven Spielberg, if you're listening, let's have a heart-to-heart. Just a really quick one. This isn't going to take long, I promise. Here's the thing, buddy. Literally nobody was asking for a remake of West Side Story.
We're still not asking for it.
There's not a person on this planet that cares. I promise you that. 7.5 billion people, not one of them asked for this. So, I mean, it's we know that you've been asleep at the wheel for a while now. Ready Player One, The Post, we all know, but you could do better. You can. That's it.
I just remembered The Post and now I have a bad taste in my mouth. Oh my
That happened to
gosh.
us the other day.
What a bland movie.
That movie is so boring.
Seriously.
I have almost never fallen asleep in a theater. I fell asleep like 3 times.
So bland.
It was, yeah.
Just
it was bad.
unmemorable.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So apparently Klaus is great and you should see it.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's a Christmas movie, but you can watch it whenever.
Oh, the name would indicate.
Yes.
Okay. Documentary short subject went to Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone If You're a Girl. I don't know what that's about, but the title seems pretty self-explanatory. Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone If You're a Girl is the story of young Afghan girls learning to read, write, and skateboard in Kabul. Okay. There you go. Cool. That beat out In the Absence, Life Overtakes Me, which sounds just depressing from its name. I think it's about sick kids. So that sounds
it's like
terrible.
something about I think like deportation and like people who just like shut down.
Ugh.
They like can't function with that
Man.
stress. I don't know,
Sounds
but it just
horrendously depressing.
Yeah.
Very sad.
St. Louis Superman and Walk Run Cha Cha were the losers. The ones that the Oscar did not go to. Mark Ruffalo is going to get 14 lashes for saying the winner is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here we go. Best documentary feature went to American Factory, which I started while I was working the other night and realized it was mostly in Chinese and that I cannot simultaneously read subtitles and work. So I have not finished it. But from what I saw, the first 15 minutes were engaging.
Yeah.
It's getting a Criterion release, so
Wow.
it must not be terrible. That beat out Forsama, Honeyland, which I do really, really want to see, The Cave, and The Edge of Democracy, which I'm also interested in seeing. About Brazil. Okay, here we go. Real Live Awards now. I'm just kidding. Those are all Real Live Awards. People put tons of hard work into those films, and I'm very glad that they got recognized for it. Here we go. Best Achievement in Visual Effects. This was also the first time that I started suspecting that 1917 might not win it. Because this is such a concession award that it's not even funny.
Yeah.
The visual effects in 1917 are not that good.
Yeah.
This one definitely should have gone to Avengers.
I think it should have gone to Endgame for sure, personally. Nominees were 1917, Endgame, Rise of Skywalker, The Irishman, and The Lion King. I think Endgame or Irishman. I was kind of blown away it didn't go to Irishman, honestly.
I thought they would, but
The waterfall scene in 1917 alone should have been enough to make it not win an Oscar for Best Visual Effects.
Yeah.
Very ragdoll-y. Very low textures.
I think a lot of people were mad that Endgame didn't get more nominations.
Yeah, there were some people saying that should have been nominated for Best Picture, and I think that they just didn't see any movies this year.
Yeah, I think
Because this was an incredibly strong year.
this
Like,
was
if
a
it were
great
last year?
nomination, and I think that Endgame deserved this Oscar, but not any others.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's way better than Black Panther.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If it were last year, I mean, like Infinity War should have been nominated over Black Panther.
That's
but,
a
Oh,
good point.
yeah.
but this was just a very strong year.
Yeah.
Mm.
So 1917 took Best Visual Effects, which is fine, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it still should have gone to Endgame and secondarily to The Irishman.
I did like the videos they showed at the Oscars that like showed what the visual effects did.
Really cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's one more thing to touch on is for the most part, the little montages before each award, very on point this year.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
they did a fantastic job
I
with
just-
all of them.
Wish that like they would have actually, like I guess like transferred them to the screen because
That was weird.
it was just
Yeah.
like they're video, they're recording the stage and like the camera's moving.
Yeah, very
around.
strange.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
Odd
but
pick.
all like the montages were very good.
Yep. Moving on here. They split sound editing and sound mixing, which I thought was an odd choice.
That was interesting.
I do think both of them should have gone to Uncut Gems, but in any case, sound editing went to Ford v Ferrari, which was the favorite, and that's
Seems
fine. The sounds in that are
but-
great.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that odd. It's that film was very technically proficient. It's just totally heartless, I think.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So yeah, that's fine. I was paying attention to the sound in Joker last night when we watched it, and I thought it was fine. Nothing special, but whatever. Star Wars literally just recycled the freaking toolbox. So what are you gonna do? I mean, just get nominated for the same sound effects. We all know what a blaster sounds like. And then 1917 took sound mixing. I don't know. It's not very often that I'm impressed by a
It's
film's
whatever.
sound mixing.
Yeah.
This year, obviously, was Uncut Gems. Last year was First Man, which it did win that, right? I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It beat out Ad Astra, which I'm glad to see that get nominated for something. It beat out Ford v Ferrari, Joker, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So apparently, the editing in Rise of Skywalker was great, but the mixing was way off. I don't know. It was just so tied into each other. There is a difference, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they usually go hand in hand.
right, like you're gonna sit here and tell me that the sounds sounded great in Rise of Skywalker, but those levels were way off. Like, give me a break. Rise of Skywalker shouldn't be nominated for anything. It's a terrible movie. Original song went to Rocket Man for the song "I'm Gonna Love Me Again." Of course, they're gonna give Elton John the Oscar. Not even close. The Harriet song was great though.
Yes.
I agree.
That beat out Frozen 2, Into the Unknown. Seeing Idina Menzel up there just made me want to watch Uncut Gems again.
Adele Dazeem.
Huh?
Adele Dazeem.
I don't know what that means.
That's what the John Travolta when he said her name wrong. And so like
Oh yeah, and
there
whoever
were-
introduced her
yeah,
was
Josh
like,
Gad, said exactly as it's spelled.
The little in between bits had some good jokes. I thought.
Yeah.
They should have just had Janelle Monáe host the whole thing.
That would have been great.
I would have loved.
That's a pretty
that.
inoffensive choice.
Yeah.
And she basically did. Like Janelle Monáe, Steve Martin, Chris. They let Chris Rock onto the stage for some unknown gosh darn
For
reason.
him to, oh yeah, I've got a Ferrari. It's better than a Ford. Okay, you're rich. We get it.
Is the thing, having Chris Rock on the stage is a coin flip, though. You never know what that dude's gonna do with a live mic. He doesn't give a crap. Yeah, it was basically like Janelle Monáe, Steve Martin, Chris Rock, and what's her name? What's her first name? Marie Tran from Star Wars. What is her first name?
Kelly.
Kelly Marie Tran. Yeah.
Yes.
All had pretty
Which-
much like co-hosting roles.
When she made a sexual innuendo about Keanu Reeves.
Yep. We'd all like to reload his Matrix.
Oh, that's right.
And my brother said, but I think it would be better to wick his John.
That's not so bad.
Olivia Colman was good too.
Olivia Colman was a champ.
Yeah.
She always is.
She's the love
Yeah.
of my life.
I love Olivia Colman.
She's
I'm
great.
so glad she won that. All right. Best score. The nominees were Hildur Guðnadóttir. Thomas Newman for 1917, Alexander Desplat for Little Women, Randy Newman for Marriage Story, and John Williams for Episode 9. Winner was Hildur for Joker.
I think that was very well deserved.
And that's fine.
The music in Joker is amazing.
I mean, I think you and I, Becca, we both picked Midsummer for
Oh,
ours of the
yeah.
year. But out of these nominees, it's a tight race between Little Women and Joker. I have no problem with Joker winning this. The score's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It really
It really is. We were paying attention to that more last night.
Well, and even I just went back and listened just through the score a couple weeks ago, and it just has such a big impact on the movie, and it's amazing. So I'm really glad that she won.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. And she gave a good speech.
Yeah, she did.
What was her line about? All the women who feel the music inside of them. We need to hear your voice or
Oh,
something like
yeah.
that. I thought that was a great
Yeah.
line. She
Yeah.
gave a good speech. First woman to win for best score in like 20 some odd years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wow.
And well deserved.
Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyling went to Bombshell.
I'm
Whatever.
okay with that.
I would have given it to Joker, but Bombshell was pretty phenomenal what they were able to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever see it, Sid?
It's good.
They were able to do some crazy stuff.
I just think it's incredible that they made Margot Robbie pretty and Charlize Theron.
Can you
I know,
believe it? Can you
right?
believe that they made Margot Robbie attractive?
Like, anytime I see her just normal,
Did you see the picture of her and Timothy Chalamet?
of course I
She's
do.
like doting on him.
That's what I would do. If
Well,
I
of
ever-
course.
I mean, that's what I do with the poster in here. I just just put my hands around his head and just smile.
Goodness. Costume design went to Little Women. We've already discussed that. I honestly would have given it probably to Jojo Rabbit out of these picks. I think that was my pick actually. We have these written down. Costume. Yeah, I gave it to Jojo Rabbit. My guess was Joker, but it went to Little Women.
My guess was Little Women, and I wanted Little Women
Yeah, my
to
guess
take
was
it.
Little Women.
Yeah. Well, maybe I was just being wishful. I don't know. I don't have anything against Little Women. I'm glad it won something.
I still stand by what I said earlier. I think that the costumes are amazing, and I think they put a lot of work into it, and especially like Florence Pugh's dresses were amazing in Little
Yeah,
Women.
when they showed the little preview,
Uh-huh.
she did look good.
Yeah.
I mean, her dresses look fantastic. The one specifically
The
they
blue
showed
one?
that, yeah, the blue one,
Mhm.
very good.
Yeah.
Man, can we just watch that again? Is it still in
Yes.
theater?
I
Can we
think
just
it
go see
is so bad. I've already seen it twice, and I already want to see it again.
We
I
should
would
just go
love
see
to
it again.
see it again.
If it's still in theaters, we really should.
All right.
Production design went to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, beating out 1917, Jojo Rabbit, Parasite, and The Irishman. I think that's well deserved. That was my pick for the year.
My pick for the year was Midsummer.
Mine was Parasite, but I think just like the magnitude of Once Upon a Time, where they like remade like 7 blocks of LA,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
that's pretty incredible.
yeah, absolutely.
I loved seeing the ladies walk up and accept the award for production design. Wasn't it for production design?
Yeah.
I don't know. They were just great.
Just
Like,
these old ladies. Yeah.
like, of course they know exactly what
Just
Hollywood
doing
was
it
like.
from memory.
Yeah.
Editing concession award went to Ford v Ferrari. The fact that this did not go to Parasite is mind blowing to me
Yeah.
at this point.
I said Parasite.
I think I did.
Like
too.
Parasite is the most deserved. Like honestly, I'd give it to Uncut Gems
Mm-hmm.
overall, but out of these nominees, Parasite, I think absolutely. Like
Yeah.
that's what I mean when I say I think it's a concession prize, and especially seeing what Parasite did win, I'm blown away that it didn't take this category.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cannot believe it.
I did also think Jojo Rabbit had good editing. I think that was a deserving nomination.
Yeah.
I
know about
realized the
best.
other day that two of my favorite movies from the past 3 years have heavy themes of peaches in them.
Huh.
I don't know if that really matters, but that's just what I thought, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
Well,
I
in
think
one of
there's some
them,
deep things.
in one of
there.
them they're helpful, and in one of them they're harmful. So
Depends on which point of view you're going from, but yes,
I mean, I guess the peach didn't really give consent.
that's true.
So
Did not.
maybe
Anyway.
Call Me by Your Name is much darker than we thought.
Oh my gosh. It's all about rape.
That's terrifying.
Ugh.
Timmy, what have you done?
Cancel him.
Let's cancel Timmy. Yeah, I do not remember the editing in Ford v Ferrari being anything special.
Me
But
either.
I told Becca this last night. I think the Academy just doesn't know what editing is.
I mean,
Because
honestly, I'm not like I can tell when it's bad, but really it's not ever something that like stands out to me after I've seen it. Where I can be like, "Oh yeah, that editing was horrible."
For me, it's something like Dunkirk, where you're like, the movie relies on the editing
editing's
almost.
phenomenal in that movie.
That's when I notice it, and I'm like, oh yeah, the editing in this movie is amazing.
Yeah.
But when a movie doesn't specifically rely on the editing to tell the story, it's hard to tell for
Yeah.
me.
Did you see Sid the Nerd Writer video?
Which one he thought should win?
No, specifically on the peach montage in Parasite.
No.
You have to watch it.
I watched. I don't know if it was Nerd Writer, but I know that I watched one where he was just like guessing. He was saying which one he thought should win,
Mm-hmm.
and he said Parasite. And like thinking back to what he said, like, he said that like the intense scenes in Ford v Ferrari were pretty good, but like it just very much dragged in the middle.
Very,
You know.
the movie was way too long.
The beginning was extremely slow and not necessary.
Yeah. So it's called Parasite's Perfect Montage. It can be found on the Nerd Writer channel on YouTube. That's what really opened my eyes up to just how, not just how good, but how efficient the editing allows the storytelling to be for a part of the movie that had the potential to drag. As what because he talks about the montage towards the like kind of 3/4 mark of the first half. Where the dad gets the job and then the mom gets the job and then they get rid of the housekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to blow your mind. All of that happens in about 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
So just like the efficiency with which they tell that part of the story is just mind blowing. And he highlights specifically the editing in it. And that's what really turned me onto it. But yeah. So I'm just very surprised that that didn't get the win, but whatever. Cinematography went to 1917. Yawn.
Expected.
Whatever. Roger
Yeah,
Deakins is great.
I'm just fine with Roger Deakins getting it, not necessarily 1917.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, go
feel the
listen to our
same.
episode on that. I love the cinematography in that movie. It's gorgeous. It wasn't even a contest.
Yeah.
It was never going to go to anything else.
Yeah.
If I were giving the award, I'd give it to The Lighthouse.
I still would give it to 1917. I'm really surprised that Joker was nominated. Even watching it last night and trying to pay attention, I did not find the cinematography to be that spectacular in that movie. I thought it was it was serviceable, but I didn't think it was Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
Again, Uncut Gems I'd nominate above Joker, absolutely.
Midsummer.
Midsummer, absolutely. Above the Joker or Irishman, I think. Again, Irishman, I don't think the cinematography is what makes it special. I think it's the screenplay and the performances. But yeah, cinematography went to 1917. Roger Deakins is a treat. We're lucky to have him, so that's fine. Adapted screenplay. Bit of a surprise here. I thought for sure it was going to Joker.
I thought it was going to Little Women.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean I haven't read it, but just hearing how she changed up the timeline,
It is very novel.
I feel like it's a very good choice. Kind of more engaging into the story, and I know that like a bunch of people were like, I shouldn't have to be doing homework and not being able to figure out what time period I'm in trying to watch this movie. And like, if you just pay attention and you wait for maybe 30 seconds till you get into the scene, you'll know where you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if your problem watching Little Women was that you couldn't like locate yourself in time, I don't know what to tell
Just
you.
pay attention to their hairstyles.
Pay attention to
It's not
colors.
that
Come
hard.
on.
Dude, P.S. That freaking what is that gosh darn Instagram account? You shared it from Parasite the other day.
Oh,
The
color
Yeah.
palette.
yeah, Cinema
Yeah.
Color Palettes or something like that.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Holy crap! So it's an Instagram account, and they take stills from movies and extract the color palette from it.
Yeah,
And
color palette cinema.
Yeah, Color Palette Cinema, fantastic Instagram account. For those of you who are trying to get more into understanding lighting and cinematography and color, like what the role that color plays in the vibe of a movie, that account is fantastic for that. So yeah, adapted screenplay went to Jojo Rabbit though.
I'm totally okay with
It's a
that.
great pick.
Yeah, I'm totally fine.
It's a great pick.
I do know that with Taika winning, he's the first Indigenous person to win an Oscar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think it's awesome that like Taika and Bong, both non-white people. I think it's great.
yeah,
Also, Taika looked fantastic.
dude, his
He
hair.
did.
His hair.
Oh
He's
my
on
gosh.
point. We forgot him in Best Dress, but he looked great.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh! If best hair, he's in there.
Absolutely.
Also-
Which is incredible because Timothée Chalamet was there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw a video of Bong Joon-ho going backstage and Taika just hugging him.
Yeah, I
And
saw that too.
I'd just like want it burned into my brain forever. It was beautiful.
Truly was. What a wholesome moment.
Yes.
I don't know. Taika's great. I love Taika.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. I wasn't as hot on Jojo Rabbit as you guys were, and I have my
Yeah.
reasons for it. I do want to see it again.
Mhm.
Maybe I
Me
would like
too.
it better a second time.
Yeah.
Maybe the Wes Anderson-ness of it all would be more okay with me. But I do feel validated because I watched the video from Your Movie Sucks on his predictions for the Best Picture thing, and he had the exact same criticism that I did, and he's very harsh on movies.
Yes.
I think that's a totally fair criticism. I
Yeah.
mean, again, we've talked about this before. The Wes Anderson-ness of it made me like it more.
Yeah.
Man, even saying these words right now just makes me want to go watch Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
What a phenomenal film. We pre-ordered our Grand Budapest Hotel
Oh my
Criterion
gosh.
too.
I wish I had money.
So that comes out in April.
I wish we had money too.
It's
Doesn't
called
stop us
it's
from
called
spending all of it on Criterion.
credit cards. So that's adapted screenplay. Original screenplay. This was the big turning point of the night, I think. Parasite took original screenplay over 1917 Knives Out. So glad that got a nomination, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Marriage Story and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought Marriage Story was a shoo-in for this.
I thought it was gonna be Once Upon a Time
Really?
in Hollywood.
Yeah. I really thought that Marriage Story was a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Parasite.
You went all in though.
I did.
You just
I was like,
you had faith and you went for it.
yeah. I was like, you know what? I think Parasite's the best film, and sure, like throughout the past couple weeks, Andrew's been like, oh, I think people are thinking this one or this one, and I was like, no, this is the one I think is best, and yeah, I pretty much chose it for almost everything it was nominated for.
Yeah. I mean, my pick was Parasite as well, but I predicted Marriage Story, and I really thought that was just going to happen.
Yeah.
So, how on earth 1917 got nominated for original screenplay blows
Yeah.
my
Oh my
freaking
gosh.
mind. Again, the screenplay and the dialogue and the characters are not what is impressive about that movie
No.
at all.
Yeah.
Again, that movie's pretty soulless, with the exception of the singing scene
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and the mother and baby scene. Those two scenes are good. Everything else
Yeah.
is pretty heartless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Runny, runny, shooty, shooty, boom, explosion.
Boom boom. Germans.
Did you see there was? Oh gosh, what's the video? Somebody did like like parodied trailers for all of the Best Picture nominations, and they said,
Honest trailers.
was it? Yeah, it
I
might
know
have
that
been.
They do one.
Yeah, so they did. Yeah, it was Honest Trailers, and they did all of the Best Picture nominees.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1917 one, they said that it was a one-way thrill ride where the various checkpoints of the UK's hottest stars.
Oh, yeah.
And it just showed like moving from Colin Firth to Andrew Scott to Benedict Cumberbatch,
Oh my gosh.
which I thought was very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, Knives Out sequel in the works already.
Are you
Really?
serious?
Yeah,
Amazing.
following LeBlanc. So every character in the movie will be different aside from LeBlanc.
Okay.
I would love to see them bring back Lakeith Stanfield though, but I understand why they can't.
I love him so much.
Dude, he's on the warpath right now.
I love him.
That dude is on the up.
I just like I don't know what it like ever since I saw him in Sorry to Bother You and Get Out, I just have this deep love for him.
He's incredible, and
He's so good.
he picks up him and Julia Fox pick up the like very small tiny amount of slack that Adam Sandler leaves in Uncut Gems.
Mm-hmm.
His energy in Uncut Gems is just phenomenal. He's so good in that movie.
He deserves the world.
He really does. I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing so well. He's Photograph is him too, right? The Photograph that's coming out that looks boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that's about, but honestly, I would just see it for him. But
It's
I probably
like
won't.
the girl is like, my mother didn't love, so I can't love, but
Something.
Lakeith Stanfield wants me to love.
If Lakeith Stanfield wants you to love, you do it. If he wants you to love him specifically, you better damn well do it.
Hard agree. I would leave Becca for Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh boy,
I would. Do you know how much money he has? Probably.
that's fair.
He's also great in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. Yeah.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
It's great though.
If you haven't seen Sorry to Bother You,
That movie.
you should really go watch it.
It's
I won't
so
I won't
great.
say anything else.
You just
Don't-
need to watch.
don't
it.
Go
know
in,
anything
Go
about
in
it.
as blind as you can because that movie is a ride. Army Hammer in that movie is just phenomenal. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, I guess this is the way they want to list it. Whatever. Best director went to Bong Joon-ho. He doesn't even have a proper like profile shot on his IMDb. But once again, Marty and Quentin, it's not happening for him. Quentin better win Best Director for his next movie because he says he's done.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
He says he's doing a 10th film and he's done.
It's
has
true.
he ever won?
Not for directing. He won for writing for Inglourious Bastards, which is reasonable because that's probably the best screenplay ever written.
Yep.
I don't exaggerate when I say that.
Who won that year?
For Best Picture,
No, for Best Director.
2007. That would have been, I don't remember.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So Marty lost, which is unfortunate, but whatever. He'll come back. Maybe. I don't know. Marty's like 1,000,000 years old. So what are you going to do? Sam Mendes, who cares? Todd Phillips, who cares? Actually, less of a who cares on Sam Mendes because this was a huge mountain for Bong to climb.
Yeah, I'm so glad he won.
I couldn't believe it when they announced it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I knew. That's when I knew. Because, like I said earlier in the podcast, that was a much bigger mountain for him to climb than Best Picture even.
It was Catherine Bigelow.
Oh, for The Hurt Locker?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I would have given it to Quentin, but in any case.
You know, only woman to win, I think.
Ooh. That comment aged poorly. I don't know. In any case, I still think Inglourious Basterds is a better movie than The Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
Hurt Locker, though, pretty maligned. A much better movie than people give it credit for. I think that having it put on that pedestal of Best Picture made a lot of people, I guess, underrate it. But that's just because Inglourious Basterds is like one of the best films of like the last few decades. It's an incredible movie.
Fantastic.
Greta Gerwig should have been in here
Yeah.
I agree.
over Todd Phillips for sure.
Yeah.
But we decided that it's a weird thing though, because really you're splitting hairs a little because Joker is a well-directed film. It's just so funny, like, because we were talking about this before the show started, that Joker was nominated for 11 awards. And I think the only one that I would have picked it for is Best Actor.
Yeah.
But I didn't have an issue with it being nominated for any of them.
Yeah.
It just kind of felt like
It's like the third best in every category.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt very middle ground in everything.
Yeah, apart
And
from
I mean, it's
Best
an
Actor.
amazing
Yeah.
movie. It's a really, really good. It's just there were so many really good movies this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. But I mean, even still, like, even if you compare it to last year, I think there were 2 or 3 films that beat it out in every one of those categories.
Yeah.
I think that Roma and The Favorite both would have trumped it hard.
Yeah.
Gosh, The Favorite's so good. Can we watch a freaking... I just lost his name.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yes, we should watch a Yorgos Lanthimos film tonight.
So how many movies are we watching?
So we're gonna go see Little Women,
Okay.
and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna watch Moonrise Kingdom,
Okay.
and then we're gonna watch Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Okay. Sounds like a great evening.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We got it's 7:40. We got
Plenty of time.
yeah, that's like probably 8 hours.
It's
So,
fine.
yeah, whatever. Do we know what he's up to? Is he doing anything?
Let's see.
I mean, I'm sure he's doing something.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything.
Looks like he's got 2 in the works. One called Untitled Greek National Opera Project,
Okay.
and one called The Man in the Rockefeller Suit.
Whatever. I'm in.
Let's
Cool.
let's get him back. We love you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Apparently Luca had a short film come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or it either is coming out or it did come out. I don't remember. Oh, what is it?
The Staggering Girl.
Maybe. I don't remember.
It is a short. An Italian-American worker who lives
Yeah,
in
it's
New
got
York.
Julianne Moore and Mia Goth in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'll have to try and track that down. It's 40 minutes long. So, yeah. All right. Best Supporting Actress went to Laura Dern. Yawn.
Well deserved.
Well deserved, but
Yeah.
yawn.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we knew it was gonna happen.
Not a real lot of competition there. I mean, honestly, any other year, tons of competition. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of people in the Reddit thread talking about how I was on the Reddit live thread while we were watching the Oscars. A lot of people who were like, "What was so special about Laura Dern? Like, it should have gone to Florence Pugh." Florence Pugh was absolutely the favorite in the Reddit thread.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people just don't know acting. I don't know.
I mean, I think Laura Dern was fantastic in Marriage Story. I feel like it kind of gets hard to compare acting when it's like Laura Dern's in like 20% of the movie and Florence Pugh is in 95% of Little Women. So it does get really hard to be like, well, she's like hardly even in it, you know?
But she's the villain in that movie, and that's what people don't realize, I
Yeah.
think.
Like she's not supposed to be very likable.
And she is the villain, but that's the thing is like it's worked because she's manipulated the audience into thinking that she's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like she manipulates the crap out of Scarlett Johansson.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's so good. Her performance is amazing.
It was awesome to see Scarlett Johansson nominated.
Oh yeah,
was
for
great.
sure. She did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I think my pick would have been Laura Dern, then Florence Pugh, then Margot Robbie though,
Yeah.
because Margot Robbie does do a great job. I did not see Richard Jewell. I'm not that interested in supporting Clint Eastwood. So, supporting actor went to Brad Pitt. Yawn. Right.
Yeah, we talked.
I mean,
about
all these actor categories are yawns.
Yeah.
I think it should have gone to Joe Pesci, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
The fact that Anthony Hopkins was nominated again makes no sense. That movie's fine, but whatever.
Had no interest in seeing it.
It's whatever.
Figured.
Renee Zellweger took actress. Yawn. Really should have gone to Saoirse Ronan. I watched Judy. What a snooze fest. That movie is not very good. There's a reason it was only nominated for 1 Oscar.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Academy had made up their minds before they even submitted nominations.
Yeah.
That movie is such a snooze fest. It is not very good.
Noted.
She is very good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I would assume. I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with when you're doing biopics, you're just doing an imitation, and I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with late period Judy Garland's behavior. So maybe she was
Yeah.
terrible, but I don't know. She gave a compelling performance. The emotion was there, like, you know, very sympathetic towards the character. But that movie was just so boring.
Yeah.
Whereas Saoirse Ronan did a fantastic job. I would have even been fine with Charlize Theron or Scarlett Johansson. I think Scarlett Johansson would be my number 2 pick behind Saoirse.
Yeah, me too.
I just remembered Saoirse's monologue about women, and I want to start crying
so
again.
good.
We really do just need to go see Little Women.
We
Oh
do.
my gosh, I already want to own it so bad.
I already pre-ordered it on Amazon.
I think I might.
It's so freaking good. And when they did Florence Pugh's little bit about marriage for her preview, I was
Yeah.
like, that's fitting.
I think those
That's
are
a,
like
Yeah.
some of the 2 best monologues in the whole movie.
phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Timothy's on the hill makes me want to cry.
Oh my gosh, dude. How was he not nominated for supporting actor?
know.
Kick out Anthony Hopkins for that.
See you later.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix took Best Actor. Yawn.
Very well deserved.
Yeah, I would say
Great
that
job.
I would have loved if Adam Driver got it.
I actually had, like, when it came time for me to pick, I did pick Adam Driver.
That's who I would have
I didn't predict it, but that was my pick.
Yeah.
I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance was absolutely amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Way
Hard agree.
better than Adam Driver's to me, I think. Not that Adam Driver's was bad at
Sure.
all.
No, not to take anything away from Joaquin Phoenix's performance, but I think that Adam Driver covers an equally impressive range of emotion in Marriage Story, while also, like, just the extremes that goes. That fight that they have is just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, like, the way that Joaquin delivers his whole speech at the late night show is just phenomenal. So good. Okay. And that brings us to Best Picture. Parasite took it over 1917, Ford v Ferrari, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and The Irishman.
That was such an amazing moment.
It really was.
Parasite to
It
win.
really was.
Oh.
And when she
So
when
exciting.
she took that moment to pause
Uh-huh.
after she read it and
Yeah.
look up at the crowd, I was like, "Don't you
Parasite.
dare say 1917 at this point." That's such
I
a.
know. I was like watching her mouth, like, how is she going to form her words?
It's like,
it
is she gonna
be-
start an N or a P?
Is she gonna start Green Book again? I don't know. Green
She
Book.
announces Green Book. The best picture goes to Mahershala Ali.
I mean, okay, yeah, give it to him.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Give it to him, not the movie.
Yeah, right. But yeah, dude, no, incredible. Like, first film not in English to ever win the best picture,
That's amazing.
and the first film from South Korea to ever be at the Academy Awards
Yeah.
or win an Academy Award.
I feel like this is like Parasite is the best film to be the first to win.
No,
That
I mean,
makes
there's a lot
sense,
to be
like-
said about it, right? As far as it just being so rawly accessible on top of being a foreign film.
Yeah.
And like I almost say that like over Roma. Like I'm glad Parasite's the one that won, not Roma.
Oh,
last
sure.
year.
Yeah.
Like
I would have loved to see Roma win, but
Sure.
again, like, if I'm gonna show my parents a movie, it's not gonna be Roma.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
it's funny, it's entertaining, but it also has these complex themes to it.
Well, and you've said this a couple times before, Andrew, that like it's a film that gets you excited about film.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Well, and like, again, if you can go back and listen to we did an intro to international cinema episode a few months ago, where I talked about, it was mostly me, talking about some of my favorite films from around the world, and you know, why I feel it's important to be a partaker of international cinema and not just limit yourself to English language films. And the amazing thing about this is that it's going to act as a bridge to so many people who would not consider watching a foreign language film,
Yeah.
but they'll put this on because it won Best Picture. And, you know, just like Bong said, you know, once you get over the 1-inch barrier, you open yourself up to so many more incredible films. And I think that this film specifically and his filmography in general are amazing ways to begin to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And I think that even in that sense, Korean and Asian cinema have the potential to be kind of that expansion, right? A lot of specifically horror films, or like a lot of our big horror films, are adapted from Asian horror films, specifically Korean or Japanese films. And if this can act as the entryway to a lot of people getting into that, then I'm all for it. And I don't think that Roma would have had the same effect had it won.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I would love to be able to have the original like horror movies be the one that's released instead of the adaptations, which like I'm not, I'm knocking on those, like some of them are pretty good, but like they just do it in such a different captivating way. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Well, and I mean, a lot of the times these are, you think about something like The Grudge, which is a story that is really, I guess if we're talking about, Asian horror films that were adapted, The Grudge that story is very ingrained into Japanese culture. And for us, it's just another ghost story. But the way that it's presented and the love with which it's presented is just phenomenal because of how, like I said, how ingrained that story is into their culture. That said, I read an article today about what Bong Joon-ho is doing next. He's working on 2 films currently, as well as turning Parasite into a miniseries for HBO.
Ooh.
So, rumor has it that Mark Ruffalo is slated to star in that, which means that it likely, almost definitely will be English language. Mostly speculation at this point, but a lot of people are saying it's going to be similar to like the Fargo TV show, where it explores similar themes but with totally unrelated characters, which I think would be fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Adam McKay is signed on to help with that as well, and Bong Joon-ho is producing but not directing it. So my guess is that he'll be more tangentially involved in that than directly involved. But his 2 films he's working on, one is a Korean film that he said is a mix between a drama, horror, and action that takes place in Seoul. And that was all he said.
Amazing.
Right? Who knows?
You don't even have to say anything. You just say Bong Joon-ho is doing another movie. Let's get it.
And the other one, he didn't give any more specifics than this, but he said is an English language film that retells the events of a 2016 event. It's like it's a retelling of events that happened in 2016.
Huh.
So if we can narrow down what events happened in 2016 that would be relevant for him to tell in an English language film.
I can't think of anything important that happened in 2016.
I don't think that Bong Joon-ho is going to make a movie about the election. I guess you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it's like an inspired by true events, which I don't know that he's done before. Isn't Memories of a Murder based on true events?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But in any case, I think
still see it.
I think The Host is also based on true events.
That's a great
definitely.
Movie. Yeah.
Snowpiercer.
Based on true events.
Yes.
No, that's a documentary.
Oh, that's right. It's a future documentary.
It's a sequel to Willy Wonka.
Oh, you're right.
You've seen that video, right, Sid?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. That video is incredible. But yeah, seriously, just how I was so thrilled to see that. Just so excited.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I clapped so hard that my hands started to tingle. I was so excited, and my family was just like, calm down. And then my sister and my mom were like, well, we don't think it's the best one. I was like, well, what would you say? It's like 1917. I was like, ugh. Okay.
That was the divide in the Reddit thread too. A lot of people were gunning for it, but again, it's people who want to suck the heart out of cinema.
Yeah. There's just no
just
emotional
didn't
weight
like
to
1917 at all.
Like the last half, great. Everything before that, I couldn't care less.
Right. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Whatever. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, this definitely put more ammo in my pocket though, because we're having a movie night with my parents this weekend, and I asked them how they felt about watching a movie that wasn't in English, and my dad was like, "Well, obviously that's not my first choice," because I wanted to show him Parasite.
Now you can be like,
Now I can be like, "This is the Best Picture winner, Dad."
how do you feel about watching the Best Picture?
Let's just watch the movie that won Best Picture this year.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, okay, let's do it."
Yeah, my
Oh
family.
yeah, it's
It's in
not
Korean.
My family watched it, and it was a very fun experience to watch them watching it, especially the birthday party scene. They were just like shocked, and it was just amazing. But like, I was really surprised that they were laughing so much.
It's a funny movie.
It is
really
funny, but
is.
I guess maybe just because I dived into the themes for some of my papers for my film class, but like seeing like the part where is it Mr. Park, he's talking about Mr. Kim's smell, and like they're laughing at that, but to me that's such a sad moment.
Yeah,
And I guess it's probably more because I knew the outcome.
sure.
But yeah, like I mean, I guess this is kind of more going into a tangent on the writing, but how just Bong Joon-ho can incorporate these funny, entertaining things and also have these emotional, heavy problems in it as well. So like you can still enjoy it, but then afterwards you can be like, oh, he was actually really saying something there.
Yeah. Well, and that ties back into the point that we were making earlier, right? Of this being the perfect vehicle to introduce people to international cinema.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Bong. We're very, very happy.
Mm-hmm.
We know that we played an enormous part in this. Our year-end episode, I'm sure, was heard by many members of the Academy and
yes.
assisted them in choosing Best Picture.
You're
winner,
welcome.
Parasite.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else to say about the Oscars?
I don't think so. It was a great year.
It was a great year. I thought the ceremony was great. I thought the awards were great. I was very, very pleased with everything overall.
Timothy did great.
Timmy,
Yep.
I think get a host next year.
I didn't mind how it flowed at all. I don't think
I'm fine
They
with
need
that.
to
I can't help but imagine the alternate universe where they had Janelle Monáe host.
That would be
that would have
great.
been
That would have been
great.
incredible.
Yeah.
Paddington. Just a suggestion.
Just have the ceremony
Yes.
be us watching Paddington.
No,
They just
just
screen
have-
Paddington.
No,
Oh,
just have
oh,
Paddington be
Paddington
the host.
host it. Okay. I thought you meant just like they show up. They're like, instead of giving awards, we're all going to watch Paddington too.
No, he like just gives out people marmalade sandwiches.
I'd be down for
It'd
that.
be very wholesome.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah. No, I actually like the format of no host. I feel like the host kind of slows it down and detracts more. So
But here's the thing. They just had 15 hosts instead of one.
yeah, but
That's
I guess
fine.
like I mean like they would still have different presenters for each award. So I kind
Yeah.
of feel like with the host, it would kind of just like go from host to presenter.
Well, no, but
Back
that's
to
what they
host.
did is they had people, even George McKay made that joke where he was like, now I'm here to introduce myself, to
Oh,
introduce
yeah,
somebody
you're
else who
right.
will introduce somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Yeah,
that,
you're
that
right.
they had hosts.
But I kind of liked seeing so many different people, even just for what they were wearing and to hear from
guess
them.
so.
Like,
And I guess to hear George McKay's native accent was worth it.
Mhm.
I did not know that that's what he sounded like.
yeah.
All right, well, the vote is split on whether they should have a host or not.
No, it's 2-1.
It's split. So yeah, all right. Any other thoughts on the Oscars?
No?
All right, folks, we're ready to rip roar into a new year of film.
Mm-hmm.
This year was great. Hopefully 2020 can be as good.
Yes.
Let's pray to the film gods. We've got some big things coming up. I saw the what is it? IMDb 2020 films. Gosh, where did this list go? Most anticipated movies. And we got some crazy stuff. Mulan looks actually pretty decent. Dune is coming out. No Time to Die. Morbius looks interesting. We saw The Gentleman.
Oh,
That-
what'd you think?
That was a treat.
It was fun.
I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved it. Let's see. Tenet is coming out. Obviously that's going to be fantastic. The King's Man is coming out. Is that related to The Kingsman?
Yes, I believe it's a prequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm okay with that.
The French Dispatch is happening, which is just going to be incredible, I'm sure. Yeah.
We got some good ones coming.
Preemptive early race for Best Director between Christopher Nolan and Wes Anderson, because I'm sure the both of them are going to be fantastic. I really have no doubt. Those guys just don't put out bad movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're very excited for 2020. Legally Blonde 3,
Yeah. Am I right?
Mank, new David Fincher, first film since Gone Girl.
All right.
The premise of the movie doesn't do much to excite me.
Oh, really?
It follows the screenwriter's tumultuous development of Orson Welles' iconic masterpiece Citizen Kane, so it's like a biopic. But then again, the last time that David Fincher did a biopic, we got The Social Network.
Very true.
That's true.
Very, very true. Okay.
The faith is there.
A little
Right?
more hope there. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, me too.
We thank you for joining us on this journey through 2019. It's been a good year for us and a good year for film.
Mm-hmm.
And we're grateful to have been able to talk about it. And we'll resume our regularly scheduled programming soon, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do it at contact@wewatchpodcast.com, or you can slide into the DMs at facebook.com/wewatchpodcast or Instagram @wewatchpodcast. We love you. We thank you. My name is Andrew,
I'm Becca.
I'm Sid.
and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.